Here's your General Hospital recap on what happened in Port Charles today, Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. Isaiah was happy to see that Portia was still in her office. To his disappointment, she told him she was still resigning. They talked and said they were going to miss working with each other. Trina went to see Curtis at his office. She was shocked to hear about Drew and Nina when he told her about the disastrous wedding. Curtis thought, now there was a chance Kai had wised up to who Drew was and could have regrets as to how things ended with her. Curtis didn't want Trina's sense of admirable loyalty to him and Portia lead her to throw away her relationship with Kai. For Trina, the problem was that the trust was gone because Kai broke the promise he made to her. She said the damage was already done. He admired her need for honesty, but still asked her to keep an open mind. Having learned from his experience, he didn't want her to rob herself of a future with a person or experience. He cautioned her on the potential consequences of making decisions based on negative emotions and emphasized the importance of being, carefully and wisely, open to giving second chances. Neither of them knew if Kai was worth a second chance, but he encouraged her to look him in the eyes and listen to her heart. Portia stopped by after Trina left. Still living in limbo, wondering if Drew was going to do something, she planned to go ahead and accept responsibility for her action and resign. Curtis encouraged her to change her mind, saying so long as Drew never found out he was the one who told Willow, they should be in the clear. At the Metro Court pool, Rick met with Nina at a table by the window. He was surprised his ex-wife, who did not like him, reached out. Nina said she would make a deal with the devil if it would help her daughter. Unbeknownst to Willow, Nina wanted to continue paying Rick to be Willow's attorney so he could help her fight for custody of Wiley and Amelia. Conceding Rick's point that it was a bad idea not to tell Willow, Nina said she would ask Willow to let her pay for his legal services, but also said that if Willow didn't agree, she would still pay him and just not tell Willow. Maxie and Brooke Lynn met at the pool area as well. Maxie was taking Brooke Lynn to task for the can of worms she opened by looking into Britt Westbourne. Brooke Lynn maintained she never meant for Rocco to see the file and said maybe, now they can all move on. As Maxie was telling her that Liesl was back in town, Lulu walked up. Brooke Lynn started again with her, I never meant to, excuse, but Lulu told her, I brought you your son, Brooke Lynn. And to thank me for that, you bring liars and criminals into my son's life. For a second, Brooke Lynn seemed sympathetic, but quickly deflected blame to Dante for not telling Rocco anything sooner, which in turn made Lulu more defensive. Brooke Lynn claimed she wasn't the problem right now. Lulu was. As their argument ramped up, Maxie intervened and said they needed to deal with the facts and stop with the accusations. She said it was natural that Rocco would want to know more about Britt, and Liesl was the last connection he had to her. Lulu felt Rocco didn't have a connection to Britt because she was a thief who stole him and 7 months of his life from them. Laura called, and Lulu left in anger, irritating Maxie and Brooke Lynn. When they sat to talk, Maxie reminded Brooke Lynn that neither she nor Lulu had clean hands in the situation. She said, you lit the match, but Lulu keeps pouring gas on the fire, and she was just trying to put it out, or at least stop it from spreading. Brooke Lynn acknowledged the fire needed to be put out before someone else got burned. Later, Maxie met with Nina at another table. She didn't want to say, I told you so, but she did anyway. Even though Curtis beat Nina to the punch, Maxie wanted to know what happened to make Nina want to tell Willow the truth on her wedding day. Nina felt it was the last chance she had to get through to Willow, who was becoming more unrecognizable. She didn't tell Maxie about Willow targeting Daisy, but confided that she knew of her doing something so bad that it could prevent her from ever getting custody. On the other end of the pool, Joss confronted Kai. She was not happy with him because he broke Trina's heart, but said, considering everything that went down at the wedding, there may be some hope for them if he could see how big a mistake he made when he chose Drew over Trina. To her surprise, Kai didn't turn on Drew and didn't seem to have regrets, saying he didn't choose Drew over Trina. For him, he did what he thought was right, and his principles mattered the most. Joss said he sounded noble in theory, but in reality, he betrayed his girlfriend and her parents for human garbage. He claimed it only mattered who he was and not Drew. Joss pointedly said he could lose Trina, her family, her friends, and everyone who genuinely cared about him in the process. But hey, he would still have Drew and his principles. After Joss left, Trina arrived. Kai said he didn't regret warning Drew, but he did regret not telling her first, and questioned whether or not his regret would make a difference. She felt it would be nice to know if he regretted saying something, but also admitted she couldn't get past his betrayal of her parents and walked off. A bit later, he exchanged looks as Trina hugged Joss. After Rocco's shift started, he went to Brooklyn's table to see if she wanted anything. He thanked her, saying he wouldn't have known he had another mother if it weren't for her. She told him she never meant for him to see the file, but he said he was glad he did. He said his parents, especially his mom, wanted him to forget it existed, which made him think they were never going to tell him about it. Before he went to work, Rocco visited his grandma Laura at her mayoral office to ask for help with his mom and dad. He surprised Laura by telling her he had contacted Liesl, who was now in Port Charles. Further, he thought Liesl was really cool and kinda kooky, but he really liked her. After sharing the incident at the pool where his parents freaked out, he worried about how he would be able to see Liesl again without making things worse. Laura asked him to understand his parents' feelings and viewpoint, and to remember Liesl had done her fair share of kinda questionable things, all of which he claimed to read about online. He acknowledged he had a twisted origin story, for sure, but glossed over the traumatics of the situation. Laura acknowledged that Liesl had shown some change and growth, which Lulu wasn't around for, and she believed in second chances. In the end, she encouraged Rocco to lay out his feelings to his parents the way he did with her. He thanked her and remarked that they didn't get him the way she got him. Lulu arrived after Rocco left. Laura quickly got to the point by telling her she felt Lulu and Dante were making a terrible mistake by trying to bar Rocco from seeing Liesl. Initially, Lulu was indignant, but Laura cautioned that the more she made Liesl forbidden, the more Rocco would shut her out in the process. She encouraged Lulu to actively support Rocco in this situation and encourage him to find the answers he needs. In the solarium at the Q Mansion, Drew met with Michael. When he said everything was over, Michael told him, "I don't need to hear your latest take on the epic romance you think you've got going on, man. You're not noble, and it's not tragic." Showing no true remorse, Drew told Michael he won, asked him to have grace in his victory, and let Willow see the kids because she didn't have anyone anymore. When Michael told him he planned to follow the judge's ruling, Drew said he should talk to Diane, settle everything out of court, and stop keeping Wiley and Amelia from their mother. Michael let him know he was not going to take risks on anything right now, especially after the way Willow acted the night before. After he explained the way she acted at Carly's house, Drew remarked it was similar to how she acted when we lost custody us in court. He again said he was just there to ask Michael to give Willow a chance, but further eschewed responsibility by saying he never set out to hurt him, just like Michael never set out to hurt Chase when he'd fallen in love with Willow. As Michael told Drew he had easily lied to both him and Willow, he suddenly realized Drew was the reason he didn't see Willow in Germany. Drew tried to deflect by saying he only wanted to focus on Willow's future, but Michael grew angrier. Had they seen each other, Michael felt he and Willow could have reached a compromise and avoided hurting their children. When he asked Drew how it felt to have all that truth sitting on his chest, Drew said, "I'm not doing this," and told Michael it was up to him to do the right thing for his kids. After Drew left, Willow arrived to talk to Michael. She said she was thinking clearly for the first time in a year and, since she met his one condition of leaving Drew, asked if she could please see Wiley and Amelia. After getting a good night's sleep at Elizabeth's house, Willow seemed to have calmed down. She told Elizabeth that going to Carly's the night before was a huge mistake, as was her entire relationship with Drew. Sounding more lucid, Willow seemed to have gained some clarity. She reflected on her choices and relationship with Drew, saying, "I can't believe how much of my life I let him control and shape. It's just like Shiloh and Harmony all over again. Two people I trusted completely manipulated me." While talking, Elizabeth said Drew love-bombed Willow, to which she responded by saying he blew her life to hell. "He ruined everything. I let him ruin everything," she said. Nina brought Willow clothes, who asked her in to talk. When Willow told her what she did was disgusting, Nina let her know she loved her and was there for her if she needed. "I don't need or want anything from you. I have had you and Drew in my ear for far too long, and I am done with it," she said, and declared what happened next was up to her to decide. It was her life, her kids, and her future. Willow felt she would have left Drew had Nina been honest with her from the beginning. Before opening the door signaling Nina to leave, Willow told her, "You are just as much to blame for me losing my kids as Drew is." Outside, Nina texted Rick that being upfront with Willow didn't work, and she was wiring his retainer right now. Later, Rick arrived to meet with Willow. He said he wanted to check on her as well as continue offering his legal services pro bono. She wanted to know the best way to obtain visitation or joint custody. For now, he said, neither was a realistic option, but she should be able to rebuild her reputation by the October visitation hearing. She didn't know how she would be able to wait that long, but he encouraged her to be thankful for those months, because it would give her time to build a case to convince the judge and even Michael that she could play by the rules and manage her emotions. After he left, she told Elizabeth she was going for a walk to think about everything. After leaving the Quartermains, Drew stopped by. Elizabeth told him to give Willow some space since her entire world blew up yesterday. When he said Willow should have never found out that way, Elizabeth said, "I'm sure he was just looking out for Willow." As soon as she said he, Drew immediately realized it was Curtis who told Willow the truth, and not Nina. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Here is your General Hospital Spoilers sneak peek video for Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Portia and Curtis thought they were in the clear now that Willow had dumped Drew. Surely, he'll just move to DC now and leave them all alone, saving Portia's medical career in the process. But nope. Elizabeth let it slip that Curtis was the one who blabbed about Nina and Drew's romps on Drew's office floor. Curtis is ready with his power move when he meets with Drew at the Metro Court pool. Curtis asks Drew to hand over the blackmail material he has on Portia, but Drew is not about to let bygones be bygones and bury the hatchet now that he knows Curtis ruined his wedding. Fresh after telling Rick she would lay low and stay away from Michael and the kids, Willow does the complete opposite and begs Michael to work things out without the judge. Willow melts into another puddle of tears as she begs for a chance to see her kids before October. Will Michael give in or realize that Willow needs some serious mental health help before she's ready to be a mother again? Jason's determination to find Britt leads him to Elizabeth. He needs her help, but what can she tell him besides the information she knows about Britt from working with her at the hospital? Anna has no idea her latest mystery will lead her straight to Britt. Right now, she is more concerned about Emma than anyone else. She is afraid her obsession with Professor Dalton will lead to some WSB trouble, and she is right. At the Metro Court pool, Emma lets Gio in on her plan to steal the master key to Dalton's lab. Emma will have Jocelyn to contend with, the super spy whose mother chastises her for her unhealthy relationship with Vaughn. How will Joss talk her way out of this one? And how long until Carly learns just what her daughter has been up to? On General Hospital, Willow Tate has been regaining some of her bearings after leaving Drew Kane at the altar. Willow was coming off another meltdown when she went to Carly's house and demanded to see her children, Wiley and Amelia. Elizabeth showed up and took her to her house, and on the July 30th episode, Willow felt much better after a good night's sleep. She calmly went to Michael Corinthos and tried to convince him to let her see her children. Willow's mental health has been on a wild ride since she lost custody of Wiley and Amelia in May. While she was looking like her old self at the end of the episode, that's not necessarily a sign of things to come. Monday night, McMullen appeared on a live video interview with soap journalist Michael Fairman. She was on air with General Hospital's Avery Kristen Pohl and their acting coach, Holly Gunyer. During the interview, Fairman asked McMullen if she wanted Willow to go completely crazy, which she has shown signs of doing this summer. Gunyer nodded her head and said she wanted it to happen. McMullen responded, "Sometimes I'll imagine where a story's going in a daydream, but honestly, what the writers have been doing is so much better than anything I could come up with. I'm just excited to see where they take it. I think it would be really cool to see this through and have Willow go completely crazy because that's where it seems it's going. So I feel like we should just go all the way." Gagne interjected that Willow could then get professional help and heal, which would be a great storyline, and McMullen agreed. Fairman's interview, which ran 70 minutes on YouTube, was a wide-ranging conversation. It focused a lot on how McMullen and Pohl are in constant contact with Gagne as they prepare for their scenes on General Hospital. The three women spent a lot of time praising each other and giving insights into the acting business and how they prepare. Pohl has just been nominated for a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Guest Performance for playing Esme. She said most of her reel was her final episode, when she brought about the death of her and Spencer Cassadine in France. Fairman asked McMullen and Pohl what they think of some of their co-stars. McMullen has had to adjust to meeting Gibson as an all-new Michael after being friends and scene partners with Chad Duell for the past 6 years. "Rory is amazing," she said. "He's incredible. I've been blessed now with 2 amazing Michaels. Rory has just been incredible. He stepped in and he filled in every relationship imaginable. He showed up on day 1 and I was like, 'You're Michael.' He filled it all in. He's so kind. He's so lovely. He's so in it, and I thoroughly enjoy working with him." And while Drew is a character many General Hospital fans love to hate, McMullen said that Matheson is nothing like the corrupt congressman. "That's just a testament to how amazing he is," she said. "He impresses me every day. On a human level, he is so kind, so wonderful. His work is just incredible. I learn a lot from working with him because he's been doing this for a while, and he's so incredible at it. He's so kind to me and supportive and always making sure I'm feeling okay. It's been cool to navigate this storyline with him because we've both been wondering what's going to happen next, what are we doing, and we have to dive in together." McMullen also had effusive praise for Weaver as Wiley and her on-screen mother, Cynthia Watros as Nina Reeves. Pohl had a lot of praise for her General Hospital father, John Lindstrom, who played Ryan Chamberlain. "John Lindstrom is one of my favorite humans I've ever met," she said. "I love him dearly. I have him over for dinner all the time. He's such a great human, and so smart and so funny, very witty, and overall a good dude." Fairman also spent time reminiscing with Gagne about her acting career. Gagne was a regular on Days of Our Lives from 1985 to 87, playing Ivy. She has also played mob queen Jennifer Smith on General Hospital since 2015. Jennifer Smith was a nemesis for Luke Spencer and Laura Collins. Fairman showed a picture of a scene Gagne had with both of them, and she shared some stories about how she loved working with them and other stories of her days in the acting business. General Hospital spoilers claim Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Benard, is eerily quiet about Drew Quartermain's, Cameron Matheson's schemes, and the fans are not okay with his laissez-faire attitude. After Drew's dirty tricks, like lying to Wiley Corinthos about Michael Corinthos not wanting him around anymore, Sonny's lack of rage feels off, especially since his softer side emerged post-Nixon Falls memory loss. Fans on Facebook are clamoring for the old, fiery mob boss to resurface, even if just to crush foes like Jen Sidwell. Will Sonny unleash his edge, or stay a shadow of his former self? Sonny's silence on Drew's betrayal of Michael has fans still fuming, longing for the ruthless mob boss who'd have already taken Drew down a year ago when he blew up Michael's marriage to Willow Corinthos. General Hospital tickets. Years ago, Sonny's Nixon Falls amnesia stint, where he lived as Mike, returned a softer man, a shift rumored to keep Maurice Benard from leaving the show, tired of playing an angry mobster. Fans get needing a break after decades of rampages, but this mellow Sonny, still evident in the summer of 2025, feels like a stranger. With Drew's schemes hurting Michael, fans want the old Sonny to roar back, if only for a moment. Sonny Corinthos has been quietly ignoring Drew's treachery, while Carly Spencer still pushes him to act. General Hospital tickets. Can't you just see Nina Reeves hinting at Drew's role in Willow's pain, and thereby their grandchildren's shared pain? And Sunny casting her aside and telling her that's between Drew and Willow and Michael? We sure can. And it's downright annoying, because we know how passionate and fierce Sunny used to be about protecting his family. Will Drew's betrayal, exposed by Curtis Ashford, finally snap Sunny out of his soft phase? His ongoing war with Sidwell demands his old fire, and with his family's life coming apart at the seams, Sunny's calm feels out of place. Can he channel his inner beast? GH are pretty desperate for the mob boss they love to return. It's baffling that we've endured years of the softer version of Sunny without so much as a glimpse into who he used to be, other than that brief period when he was off his meds. General Hospital tickets, painting him as completely stable now when he has never really been. That hasn't jived with fans who grew up relying on his chaos to keep the show fiery and entertaining. Will he unleash his old fury on Drew for hurting Michael, or stay the course as the calm, cool, and collected Sunny that some say pales in comparison to who he used to be? Fans on Facebook understand Maurice Benard's need for a reprieve, but crave flashes of a more fierce Sunny, especially against Sidwell. Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to see if Sunny snaps out of it anytime soon. In addition to Dante opening up to Anna, General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, July 31st, 2025, will also focus on Willow making a vow and Dante opening up to Anna. One of GH's summer stories concerns whatever Dalton is cooking up in the labs at PCU and how it relates to Britt. After all, she did receive the package that the courier picked up from the professor. On Thursday, Jason continues to consider the possibility that Britt may be alive. Obrecht didn't give him any answers, so look for him to turn to someone else for help. When Jason seeks a favor from Elizabeth, what is he hoping to discover? If Britt was definitely cremated after she died, Elizabeth will undoubtedly want to help Jason. But will she be able to? Meanwhile, Emma takes Gio into her confidence. This must have to do with her quest to bring down Dalton. She is a resourceful girl and might have devised a way to make that happen. Maybe Gio will offer to help her. While Gio acts as Emma's supportive ear, his biological father is about to rely on one of those as well. It has been a minute since Dante reached out and attempted to connect with Gio. Logically, he knows that he needs to be patient, and that must be frustrating for him. This might be why the detective suddenly opens up to Anna. If not, what triggers Dante's need to confide in his boss? Elsewhere, Carly shares her concerns with Jocelyn. Could this relate to her recent conversation with Anna? Anna brought up Joss's relationship with Vaughn, and Carly admittedly didn't know much about it. Maybe Carly is looking to change all that. She might want to know how Joss is doing with losing Dex, and wants more details on what's going on with Vaughn. Little does Carly know that Joss is a WSB rookie agent, and that Vaughn is her handler. Finally, Willow's life imploded at her wedding to Drew. However, she now knows that the congressman isn't the man for her, and she wants nothing to do with her mother. She also thinks that Michael has all the power when it comes to their kids. When Willow makes a vow, what's at the core of it? Is it about payback, getting her kids back, or getting her act together? After hearing her vow, we'll discover what Willow's mindset is, for better or for worse. General Hospital spoilers update for Thursday, July 31st, reveals that Carly Spencer will deliver a fierce warning while Emma Scorpio Drake plots a criminal mistake. Willow Tate will also make a tearful promise, so here's what GH fans can expect. At Elizabeth Baldwin's house, she'll get a visit from Jason Morgan, one that involves a special request. Jason will remain on a mission to prove Britt Westbourne is alive, so we'll see if Liz's access to GH records will become part of his plan. Speaking of plans, Emma will move forward with a risky one. After Emma tells Giovanni Gio Palmieri about stealing Vaughn's facility's master key, she'll suggest putting it to good use. This could be Emma's big chance to see what's inside Professor Henry Hank Dalton's lab, so she'll want to take advantage of it. Gio will help Emma mull over how to pull this off, so it sounds like they'll be in this together. As for Anna Devane, she'll have concerns about Emma getting in over her head, so she'll fear her granddaughter could make another criminal mistake. Anna will spill her fears to Dante Falconeri and serve as a sounding board for him too. Dante will no doubt talk about the situation with Rocco Falconeri and how his sons latched onto Liesel Obrecht as a source of info. Next, Carly will sound the alarm during a tense conversation with Jocelyn Jacks. Following Carly's troubling discussion with Anna, she'll relay some worries about Vaughn's motives. Carly may try to convince Jocelyn that Vaughn isn't boyfriend material, but Joss will inevitably defend her romance. Jack Brennan is counting on Joss Teaslin and Vaughn to make everyone in Port Charles believe their blooming love story. So that includes Carly. Over with Willow, she'll make a tearful promise to Michael Corinthos. Willow has been trying to get a grip on her emotions, but she'll still cry a bit as she once again pushes Michael to let her see the kids. Although Willow will think they can work on a solution as a team, Michael will still have reservations. Willow may vow to be the mom that Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos deserve, which means keeping Drew Kane out of their lives. However, Michael may struggle to trust Willow and wonder why he should believe she won't let Drew manipulate her into getting back together. Will Michael cave in or continue to block Willow from the children? When Curtis Ashford meets up with Drew, he'll think he's got the upper hand. Curtis will hope that Drew's going to surrender all his blackmail material on Portia Robinson, but he should be in for a rude awakening. With a little help from Liz's loose lips, Drew just realized Curtis is the one who leaked the news of his sizzling Nina Reeves sessions. General Hospital spoilers gush, the fanbase is going wild with shock at this week's GH previews, which show Carly Spencer questioning Jason Morgan, asking whether he is thinking about digging her up. Obviously, this outrageous question is about any intentions he might have to exhume Britt Westbourne's body, and it has GH fans in a frenzy. After spotting a woman who looked just like Britt at the airport in France recently, Jason's obsession with proving his latest love alive is pushing him to extremes, and we are eating it up. But with Liesl Obrecht guarding her daughter's memory like a lioness, will Jason's bold move reunite him with his lost love or spark chaos? Jason's heart still beats for Britt, clearly, and his desire to exhume her body after seeing whoever that was in Paris has everyone brimming with excitement, myself included. Liesl's grief over Britt's death makes her a wild card. Will she see Jason's plan as a betrayal or a spark of hope? Fans are divided, but they're all in for the chaos, cheering Jason's bold gamble to uncover the truth. In a wild twist, we could see Jason pleading with Liesl to let him exhume Britt's body, confirming that she is the person in that grave, or that anyone is in it at all, is something he may feel he needs now to trust that his eyes were deceiving him in Paris. If Liesl shuts him down, he may suspect that she knows her daughter is alive and is keeping it from him. On the other hand, it's possible that she has no idea. Imagine the looks on both their faces if it turns out Britt's coffin is empty. Jason runs the risk of Liesl accusing him of defiling her daughter's memory. But we know Jason better than that. He isn't going to rest until he explains what is going on here. He knows what he saw. This fan right here is hooked on Jason's reckless pursuit of Britt. Will exhuming her body reveal an empty grave, or will it break Jason's stone-cold heart all over again? The fans are more alive than ever across X and Facebook, calling for Jason to follow his heart and find his lady love, even if it takes him to Croatia. Stay tuned to see if Jason's gamble brings Britt back or unleashes a new level of crazy in Port Chuck. What do you think? Is Jason going too far? Sound off in the comments and keep checking back with us every day for more GH news and spoilers. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Britt Westbourne may be receiving a miracle treatment for Huntington's, which would explain that bedtime drug injection she took in the July 29th episode. General Hospital memorabilia Huntington's is obviously a very real disease, but the show may be giving Britt a soapy cure anyway. Liesl Obrecht has been reflecting on Britt's diagnosis and how it affected her, so GH writers haven't shied away from including Huntington's in the story. General Hospital memorabilia. In other words, this isn't something they tried to gloss over or expected fans to forget. This Huntington's issue has been brought up and will have to be addressed, so that's where Britt's nightly injections may come in. Kelly Thiebaud has confirmed that she's playing Britt, so we can assume this woman isn't a clone. The real Britt has Huntington's disease, so she may be receiving cure doses in exchange for the work she's doing on this top-secret project. If so, that would certainly be a good way to control Britt and keep her doing whatever her boss or bosses demand. If Britt doesn't keep everyone happy and follow orders, then her miracle Huntington's treatment could be withheld. That would be excellent motivation for Britt to do her part on whatever shady business she's tangled up in. Britt seems to be longing for Port Charles since she was looking up information about the nurses' ball online. Of course, Britt is definitely missing her mom since she thought of Liesl and said goodnight to Mutter once she was in bed. However, Britt may not be allowed contact with anyone from her old life as part of her agreement. It'll be interesting to see what rules Britt's following and whether she's indeed receiving a miraculous Huntington's treatment as a reward for the work she's doing. Regardless, Jen Sidwell hinted about a secret male partner that Professor Henry Hank Dalton seemed afraid of, so Britt may be working for that mystery man too. Willow and Nina's hard-fought bond suffered a major blow when Willow learned her mom had had an affair with her groom Drew on her wedding day. While the revelation significantly stung Willow, it doesn't necessarily mean the end of their mother-daughter relationship on General Hospital. In fact, there is a way to save it. General Hospital merchandise. The potential for a reconciliation is there, but both parties have to take accountability for their own actions first and foremost. Nina has to admit that she was wrong not fessing up to her affair with Drew the minute she learned about Willow's interest in him. Keeping that crucial information to herself was a huge mistake. It gave Willow time to fall for Drew. Nina could have immediately nipped the romance in the bud if she'd just been honest from the get-go. For her part, Willow has to admit that blaming Nina for everything that happened to her, the destruction of her marriage to Michael, and losing custody of their children, is just plain wrong. Willow's the one who chose to cheat on her husband and forsake their picture-perfect life together. She's the one who strayed, fell under Drew's spell, and sacrificed everything. That's all on her and not Nina's fault. After acknowledging their individual wrongs, Willow and Nina need time to digest everything that's transpired. Essentially, they were both played by Drew. He's the common denominator in both their pain and heartache. They're both going to have to face that pain and heartache head-on, find a way to deal with it, and get through it however they see fit. Fortunately, they both have the love and support of their family and friends to help them during this difficult time. As they slowly heal, Willow and Nina could eventually find common ground regarding their disdain for Drew. It could lead them back together as they realize they shouldn't let the scoundrel's actions sever the mother-daughter bond they fought so hard to forge. Nina could also help things along by being there to support Willow, who's so broken down emotionally over everything she's lost: her home, her husband, her kids, her self-respect. She could lead the charge, pushing Rick Lansing and/or Martin Gray to pull out all the legal stops to help Willow regain partial custody, or at least visitation of Wiley and Amelia, and secretly finance the whole thing. If Nina were to succeed and reunite Willow with her children, the one thing she desperately wants, it could lead Willow to ultimately forgive Nina and give the twosome a second chance at a real relationship. Get updates on the latest General Hospital news, straight to your inbox. General Hospital spoilers are in for Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Fans can expect Carly Spencer to open up to Jocelyn Jacks. Emma Scorpio Drake confides in Gio Palmieri. Plus, Jason Morgan asks Elizabeth Baldwin for a favor. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the ABC soap opera. Let's start off with Willow Tate, who has woken up the day after her destroyed wedding to Drew Kane. The bride is staying with Liz right now until she figures out her next move. Liz and Rick Lansing are already concerned that Willow still isn't thinking straight. Willow tried to go to Carly and Michael Corinthos to see her kids. The bride showed up in her wedding dress and was reeling mentally. She was in no condition to be around her young children, as her behavior would have terrified and confused them. Willow realizes that showing up at their house was a mistake. At the same time, Willow is determined to get her kids back and makes a vow. Over with Carly, she tells Jocelyn about her concerns. At first, I thought this could be about Willow showing up the night of her non-wedding, nearly traumatizing Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos. Carly could be concerned about what Willow could do next. However, the preview clip shows that it's actually about Vaughn. Carly tells her daughter that Vaughn is not worth her time. General Hospital spoilers for tomorrow's episode reveal that Jason will turn to Liz for a favor. This could be about Britt Westbourne, whom Jason can't get out of his head. The right-hand man is positive it was Britt that he saw at the airport. Even though Jason knows that Britt is dead, he was also dead at one time. So, Jason's favor probably has to do with Liz looking into Britt's death records or something similar. Fans can also expect the next episode to include Emma opening up to Gio. Plus, Dante Falconeri has a heart-to-heart with Anna Devane. The commissioner realizes that Emma is getting herself into a bad situation. Elsewhere, Curtis Ashford tries to strike a deal with Drew. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Thursday, July 31st, 2025? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with GH right now. Come back here often for General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates. Nancy Lee Grahn, who plays Alexis Davis on the daytime drama General Hospital, is reportedly in Hawaii, where warnings were issued about tsunamis after a magnitude 8.8 earthquake happened off the coast of Russia. Is she safe? On Tuesday night, Nancy took to her Instagram and shared a warning about the tsunamis that were predicted to affect Hawaii. If you don't know, she's been vacationing there for about a week or so. Get updates on the latest celebrity news and more from Celebrating the Soaps straight to your inbox. The warning said, "Emergency alert. The National Weather Service has issued a tsunami warning. A series of powerful waves and strong currents may impact coasts near you. You are in danger. Get away from coastal waters. Move to high ground or inland now. Keep away from the coast until local officials say it is safe to return." While she didn't initially reveal where she was staying in Hawaii, the real-life Alexis Davis finally confirmed that she was staying in Kauai. Fortunately, she's up on top of a huge hill that offers splendid views. So it seems that she's above the danger line. In her caption, the GH star assured her ABC fans, "I'm in Kauai, 300 feet above coast." Obviously, everyone listened to emergency instructions and followed them. However, that didn't mean that her fans stopped worrying about the actress who was recently nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award. Here are some of their reactions. The latest updates indicated that the waves did already impact Hawaii. According to a report by The Guardian, tsunami waves are now impacting the state of Hawaii. Urgent action should be taken to protect lives and property, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said. So far, it seems that at 300 feet above the coast, Nancy Lee Grahn and her daughter Kate should be safe. When Afar TV live-streamed the ocean after dark, not much could be seen. But some fans noticed that, over an hour or so, the waves seemed to be getting higher. However, there were some skeptics, as there always are. One of them commented on YouTube, "It's only supposed to be 10 feet. Biggest wave ever surfed was 24 feet. Still, others seemed very alarmed. Another commenter in the live chat alleged that Honolulu was being hit with big waves. Nevertheless, many people remained skeptics, and a sense of disappointment seemed pervasive, that a bigger disaster didn't happen. Such is life in a world filled with a desire for instant gratification. It's not only Hawaii that had alerts issued about tsunamis originating from faraway Russia. Others included California, a lot closer to home for many people like Nancy, who work in the entertainment industry. Is this the direction that the writers really want to take the character in? That's what a lot of fans and critics alike can't help but wonder, as General Hospital spoilers strongly suggest Sonny and D.A. Turner might be hooking up. General Hospital tickets. But here's the thing. She's significantly younger than Sonny. This might either totally turn off viewers from the storyline or get them even more invested in it, depending on their outlook. But it would certainly be a very controversial move, too. Of course, General Hospital fans on the internet certainly did have a lot to say about this possibility. Some have even commented with, "Why would she even be remotely interested in him? He's smug and could be her grandfather. Yuck!" General Hospital tickets. The show is trying to gaslight the viewers into believing he's still a suave, desirable young man. It's ridiculous. Another critic wrote, "It's a soap opera, so of course. GH has been real boring lately, so they need to write in more sex scenes and more violence. Sonny deserves to get him some. I'm happy for him." And then there was this comment as well. "Thing is, at this point, I don't see how any woman would find him desirable. He just gives me the ick at this point. I didn't mind his mild flirtation with Natalia, But they didn't make it so that he acted like he was all that right away. This is just like the DA running home to take a shower to get the ick off her. Now, as far as what happens next remains to be seen. It goes without saying that GH fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen next. General Hospital airs weekdays on the ABC network. Check your local listings for times. General Hospital tickets. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.